Thank you very much for coming, and Marlena, thank you for being with me through this journey, and thank you very much. My name is Irini Zourlantoni, and I work for 4 years in an civil engineering firm in Greece. So I studied German language and literature in Greece, in Thessaloniki, in the Aristotle University, and my master's degree is in art, law, and economy. Nothing for teaching, but somehow related. In one point in my career, I got a phone call from my current boss now for 4 years when when I lied on the beach, and he called me and he said to me, I got a number from your colleague, and I want you to work for me and to teach my employees German because they need this. Because we are working as a whole firm, as a whole with a German a structural engineering firm. So the Greek firm in Thessaloniki is Statiks. This is where I work, and the mother or the whole firm in Germany is Rading Planungsgesellschaft MBH in Lippstadt, Germany. I teach there for 4 years already. I started with 19 students. Now there are 9, but this is not because of me. This is because of they changed careers because it's the primary language, not the primary, but for 80% of the day they're speaking German. So they decided to go to a Greek engineering firm mostly, or they just changed cities or even a country. And I teach from level A1 to C2 from the European language frame. I started back then in September 2022. And it was like, what can I do? It was completely in my hands. I'm still a classical language teacher, so I started with a placement test. I did a placement test. Then my boss said to me, you can have as much hours as you want for teaching. So I decided to put my students to the right level, and then teach them for 1.5 hours. So for two Unterrichtseinheiten. So for two study hours, actually for 90 minutes. This is how I started. Then, because I was, or still I am a classical language teacher, we bought the classical books, like the grammar books, the books we need for our course. But later on, I think about in 6 months, I saw that they can use, even in the lowest levels, at the A1 level, complete difficult engineering words, and they can use them. They know what they mean, but they can't use them. So I tried to figure out what's the problem. So the problem was they can't have technical discussion in the meetings. They can't spontaneous problem solving with their colleagues in Germany. They can't. Even back then there was no AI. Now it's a little bit different. They can't explain the process to the colleagues, and they can't write good professional emails and reports for the colleagues in Germany and for the clients. So I decided to move beyond grammar-focused instruction and to use authentic professional material. I said to them, give me all your emails. Let's start to collect what you're saying every day, what questions you have. Let's translate them. And I did this to all the levels, throughout all the levels. Then I remembered my university degree, and then I searched for the theoretical frame. So my first theoretical frame was language for specific purposes. I need language for specific purposes for the civil engineers in Greece who are working for Germany, and they're doing their many constructions. Then task-based language teaching for the professional tasks they're using, the need analysis, the scaffolding from Vygotsky. Vygotsky, he did this like you give, and later you take this what you give for them for using. And I did something that usually we're not doing this, like we heard previous from our university Arabic teachers, that I did translanguaging in the first language, in Greek language, until level C1. I try to use the Greek language sometimes, and then to put this in the German language, and then to use the German language. This is how I collected about 15 pages of questions they use almost every day, and 15 Redemittel, 15 pages of Redemittel. Redemittel is like the I have a question. Like what they can use every day in the email and in the spoken language every day. So the foundation for then I separated the 6 levels in 2 different parts. The first level was A1 to B1, B2. It depends sometimes. That here we still need the basics. We still need the basics, but the basics for the engineering too. So 80% it was a classical language teaching, and then I take authentic material and I did this for the level A1, level A2, level B1, and sometimes in the beginning of B2 too. And it was the advanced where I take authentic material only, about 10% grammar revision and syntax revision, and we did this with the authentic material. So the core methodology of all across levels was task-based activities, case-based activities, and learning. Then later I will come to this. Writing to learn as possible it is because they're working hard, and interactional reflection, because this is the most important for between their colleagues, Greek and Germans, because they're thinking differently. The Germans have another hidden language, the Greeks has another hidden language, and they have to communicate as a whole firm, because it's a whole firm. It's one firm with 2 substances. So my authentic material is Bewährungspläne. Bewährungspläne is reinforcement plans, like how to build the building, the structure of the building with the cement and with the steel. Then Bodengutachten, soil reports, very important. Then I went a little bit further and I tried to introduce a cultural German things like the Pergamon Museum in Berlin, who's now under complete renovation, and they renovate, and there's doing the whole ground for being able to stand, because it's on a very not good soil to build something. So I take this as a cultural case study for engineers. So because it's open, all the plans, what they're doing, it's open on the internet. So I can use this for my didactical everyday purposes. And they're building bridges in Germany, so I take plans of them from bridges, and we are using this as authentic material too, so they can explain to me, and we can didacticize it in our lessons. One example of a case-based learning. I don't know if you remember the huge earthquake in Turkey and Syria. I use this as a case base. I don't remember the magnitude, but I use a very high magnitude of an 8.6 magnitude earthquake struck the region. And now we have to discuss this whole in German. I take pictures, I take news, I take the buildings, I take the soil, and we try to talk about this in German in a whole. What I usually do, I do this in one lesson. Then in the next lesson, I do something else, and then in the next, I take this again. So they are not bored because there are adults who are working really hard, and it's really difficult for them sometimes. The AI, which is since 2023 in our lives, I encourage them to use this for their everyday email corresponding and phone corresponding because I'm not there. But I said to them, send me what it is. And then I ask them, do you think it's right? And then they say, no, not exactly. Then I say, what do you think it's not right? So I try to somehow to give them the cultural experience of the and the linguistic experience of the language through their AI, so they can identify which is right and which is wrong. I will not read this because I don't have time. Here it's something I had throughout the 4 years. It was not easy. It was really not easy. I'm very proud of my students that they are doing this with me. It was not a linear process. It was up and downs all the time. It was crying. It was, what can we do now? But we tried really hard because they want to learn. They want to learn. My boss want them to learn. I want them to learn. So we are sitting down. We try to figure it out together. It's a dynamic, always a dynamic. What can we do now? What do you have this week? What do you have next week? What is in the future? What have you done that you have questions? Show me a plan. Explain me the plan. And the other thing that it's really important for my students is this whole intercultural awareness, because they work for a German firm. They communicate only with Germany, but they live in Greece. Sometimes they don't understand this. It came previous, I think about 2 months ago, an email in the inbox and said, Irini, they told us we are not doing our work well. And it was not the case. Obviously, it was not the case. But because the Germans are like, here we have to take this care, this care, this care, this care, and they're really strict. It sounds like you are in charge, that you didn't this well and you have to do this well. No, they just say what we want, what we have to do. This had nothing to do that we're not doing something well. So I have to explain them that it's a German way to communicate. It's not a personal way. So this is something I do, and they try to understand this throughout the years. And then let's come to me, what I did through those 4 years. As I said, I was, and I am still a classical language teacher. But throughout the years, I had to read for teaching them. So I'm not coming from an engineering background, and I have to teach myself with them. So after every time I sat down, I went to my boss, give me books. He gave me books. Then I go to my students, said to them, what are you doing? Show me what are you doing. They explain me. They roll out all the plans. They try to explain me what they're doing. I try to translate this in Greek, in German, because Greek is my native language, German is my native language too, but my German is much more better than my Greek. So I don't understand this in Greek. I try to understand this in German. So the educator become a code developer and not just a language teacher. We are in this together. We try to do this together. And the professional language teaching requires real engagement with the students and with all the subject. There it is. And in the university, the frame is that we will teach German or didactics for special purposes, but the beyond this, you have to do this on your own. So you have the basic, but then you have to do this on your own. And this is what I still discovering, and I still want to discover, and I'm still there and proud of them that they're already so far away. So they got further every day. So my conclusion for this is that the workplace language training is a professional development throughout the training, and the authenticity through this condition is the most important through all this teaching condition. The AI is in our lifestyle, so we have somehow to engage the AI and try to make the AI work for us, and not that work for us, not like we have to be now lazy, but they work for us, and we have to somehow have the ability to think better with AI. Actually, this is, I don't want to do more future direction, but the future of education, in my perspective, is that somehow we as educators have to be more together with our students in all the process, and not only there, but after the teaching, beyond the teaching, and try to be there for them so they understand better the whole subject. Thank you very much, and for questions, you can ask any questions. No questions. Oh, yes.